should be done. I'm recording in the background as well, in case you need it.
Top man, cheers.
Nice one.
This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm here. Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. First things first, thank you for making the time for us here at Boxing Social. How are you, sir?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, good. Thank you, mate. Look, let's talk a little bit about, before we get into this fight as such, over the last couple of years, I imagine a bit of frustration for yourself. Obviously, when you were down at 168, it was, you know, all the talk with Callum Smith and all the guys there. Then moving up to 175, bit of a time period, you know, you're taking the fights that you're given, but obviously you want to be in with the biggest names possible. I imagine really, really happy now that you've finally got a fight like Dimitri Bivol that you can get your teeth into, and you've got that real, you know, world championship level test at light heavyweight.
Of course, it's great for me because I want to get people know me more. And this is the biggest fight that the people will know me, because he fought, I won the greatest fight in boxing, Canelo. He beat him, and now time to put everything that I've been in the ring. I've been in the training camp in my whole life for this fight.
Well, obviously you come up against the tough Russian in Dimitri Bivol. We know last fight, unanimous decision against Canelo Alvarez, handing Canelo his only second defeat in his career. Can you take much from that performance, or do you look at Bivol's career as a whole? Obviously, a lot of people talk about the lack of what Canelo did on that night. You know, he didn't come out with his normal tenacity, wasn't throwing as much as we'd been expected. The rounds, you know, were running away from Canelo. Was that Dimitri Bivol's best performance in your eyes, or one that he didn't really have to perform at his best ability to get past that Canelo?
Well, I think he did great. He did great that night. Everybody with Canelo, and in that night I was thinking Canelo, he couldn't win, but it was like surprising because he won for unanimous decision. I thought it would be like split decision or something like that.
Obviously, all the talk to this fight, a lot of people know just how good you are, but still, as always with boxing, the challenger gets underestimated. People already mention about Canelo Bivol 2 sometime in May next year. Obviously, you will want to put a stop to that. How does the fight with yourself and Dimitri Bivol go?
Oh, he can do any plan that he wants, but I'm sorry for him. After this fight, he won't. He can. I mean, he can do it still if they want it, right? But I will take the belt November 5th.
Do you feel like with the planning that's already being done, similar to, you know, the Canelo had the fight with Bivol, but the Golovkin fight was already there. The fact that people are already talking about that rematch, assuming that this is a fight that Bivol wins, do you feel disrespected by that as such?
Well, not really, because I'm confident about myself. I know my potential, and I will take everything that he has November 5th. But like I say, he can plan, or he can do anything, or he can say anything they want.
Well, Canelo himself, obviously a name that you've wanted for a long, long time. All the guys at 168 wanted yourself when you were at 168. We've seen him double up and fight at light heavyweight, obviously with Bivol and Sergey Kovalev. You know, if you get a win here, and when, as you would like to say, get the win here, is Canelo the name that you will be calling for? I know before he said that he doesn't want to fight fellow Mexicans, etc., etc. But, you know, that's a massive, massive fight. And that could, you know, do stadiums in Mexico, do stadiums anywhere in the world.
Yeah, of course. That's the type of the fight that we had to give to the fans too, and eventually that fight will happen. But he said he don't fight any Mexican, but maybe he can do an exception.
Do you feel like Canelo has not avoided you as such, but maybe tried to push your name away to one side because of his comments about, you know, not wanting to fight Mexicans, etc., etc.? Reason to believe that, you know, people believe you're one of the most avoided fighters in boxing. Do you believe that, not that Canelo's avoiding you as such, but do you believe that there's external reasons away from the quote unquote fighting Mexicans why Canelo wouldn't want to get in the ring and hasn't got in the ring with you prior?
Well, I don't know. It don't make sense for me or for all the fans, because the greatest fight is two Mexicans in the ring, and people asking so much for that fight. And for me, I'm willing to fight anyone, to fight with the best, because I want to be a legend. I want to make my legacy, and that's the type of the fight that we have to give to a fan.
Obviously, you're still a massive frame at 175 pounds. You were even bigger. People used to say, how does this guy make 168? How have you found the move up to light heavyweight? And I imagine the power that you had is just carrying through, and you're feeling stronger than ever. Obviously, a few fights into the division now, got that world title shot. You feeling good, training good?
Yes, I feel great in this division. I think this is my division. I will take everything, every belt in this division, and I prove myself and I prove everyone.
Well, another champion at 175, Artur Beterbiev, who a lot of people seem to believe is unbeaten. We know that sort of, it's hard to say that he's at the latter end of his career when he's unbeaten and he's the top guy that everyone wants, but we still have to bring his age into consideration. He's 36, 37 years old. Look, if that Canelo fight can't be made, if you're victorious against Bivol, I imagine for you, the goal will be to go undisputed and pick up those world titles in a mega clash against someone like Artur Beterbiev.
Of course, that's the fight that I wanted to, and I will win this fight, and I will get all the belts too.
Just finally, for me, I don't know how much attention you pay to the UK side of boxing, but we were meant to have a mega fight here last week. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. Came out on the Wednesday, and the fight was cancelled and basically postponed on the Thursday. That Conor Benn had an adverse finding in his VADA test, some form of failed drugs test, a female fertility drug. We don't know what just yet. Since then, the Daily Mail, a paper over here, reported that there may be another failed test. Could I just sort of get your response to sort of such a big fight over here for the UK audience? And I know one that fascinated the American and the Latin American audience with the fathers that were involved. Obviously, drug cheats and that sort of thing. You know, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I know it was a big fight, and I know that it was canceled because the drug test, something happened. We don't know what happened, and we don't know what he take it. But I mean, this is bad for the fan because is people we want to see the fight, and it couldn't happen.
Well, Zurdo, just one more from me. Just a message to obviously Boxing Social, a UK mainly based audience. Obviously, this fight being in Abu Dhabi will be a prime time for us in Europe and the Middle East to watch this fight. So a message to the people watching in the UK that will be watching your fight November 5 with Dimitri Bivol.
Well, just I want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you for all your support. Don't miss the fight November 5th. I will become a two-time world champion, and see you soon.
Zurdo, see you in Abu Dhabi. Thank you very much for your time.
Bye.